Sixers dominated the weekend, McClung, and then Embiid had a really good game on Sunday in the All-Star game. It was called one of the worst basketball games, according to Mike Malone, who's the coach of one of the teams. Also, Jaylen Brown said it was a glorified layup line, saying we got to figure out how to make the game a little more competitive overall. Do you guys think the All-Star game is broken? And obviously what we just talked about, how do you think we can fix the All-Star game, but kind of the weekend as a whole?
Well, let me let you in on a little secret. It's not really a secret. Guys want to be all-stars. They don't want to play in the all-star game. And that's not new. All-Star weekend and All-Star break is a break. And guys want a break. That's what they want. So anything that's coming off as not being a break isn't anything they want to do. They're playing and training all year round, and they plan, and then all of a sudden they get a break, and you're like, nah, we want to take 3 or 4 of those days, and you come here and do all this stuff, and then go play in the game. While guys that is not in the All-Star break are somewhere chilling and relaxing on a vacation. So for you to be an All-Star, you got to do this. I don't know what you can do to make it different. They aren't trying to get hurt, extended. They aren't trying to do that.
It sounds like some guys do want to be more competitive, though. Like Embiid was heard. Mike Malone heard Embiid imploring his teammates to try harder and play defense
because of the way it was going. And we out here. Let's go ahead. But guys, they just want a break. That's not new. Like those guys way older than me that was looked at the other also like it's not a break. Like I don't want to go and do all this. And our break was way shorter than their break.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
Embiid
didn't even come to the All-Star weekend until Sunday for the game. He dipped out and he was relaxing up until Sunday for the game.
Yeah,
And Luka took off the second the game was over, they said.
There was a lot of guys that didn't show up. I don't think, some other guys that maybe didn't show up till Sunday or whenever. If you're there, in the past, because it was required, you were required to be there because you had to do media day, practice sessions, and all this other stuff. You had to be available. I don't know the rules now. I don't know if they are supposed to do it and just decide not to do it and take the fine, or they don't have to do it. That says a lot. If guys are just showing up for the game, show up, do my responsibility, and some guys come in there and don't play. Or play me, fewer minutes.
There's no fixing. You just scrap it?
I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can scrap it. Like I really don't know. Like I don't know. Maybe it's just not a full game. I mean, I think maybe you just play a shorter game. Maybe you just play 2 quarters. And a shorter game, or you play a shorter game and you say you go to a certain amount, but if it gets to be, if you get any kind of separation where the lead is kind of growing, the other team just going to tap out because there's no winning in that particular game does what?
Yeah, that's the problem too. There's no real incentive at all.
Do they not get like an incentive, like a money incentive if they win?
I thought it goes to charity.
Oh, that's right.
I have no idea.
That's right.
It's like for every quarter you win, I think it's like $100K or something.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys, their incentive and a lot of incentives in bonuses and contracts
in getting to the All-Star game
is being an All-Star.
Yeah.
Not playing in the All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
So they've accomplished it. That's what I'm saying. Most of the guys want to be All-Stars, but they could care less about playing in the game. But that's not new. It's guys that played in it and competed once they got there, but they didn't necessarily want to play. I mean, not everybody's not like Kobe Bryant and Giannis where they come out there and they play hard every minute they out there. Most guys aren't like that.
Mm.
Well, and how can you say they're wrong if they're like, man, this is my break and I'm not trying to go in the All-Star game and get injured. I'm trying to win a championship or you know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. We want them to play during the season. I don't know. I don't know if there's a clean answer on how to help it if playing and winning isn't a priority. Like, I don't know how to do it. I know baseball has if whoever wins, then you have home field advantage or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But we can't do that because we mix the teams up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Unless you do like a draft of just your conference, I guess.
You already have your conference.
That's true. That's true.
It's already split up like that.
Yeah, it's and that was to try to make it more entertaining too, but it makes other things more entertaining like the draft, but it doesn't make the actual game more entertaining. It's like everything they're doing makes everything before the game more entertaining, but not the actual.
Then they changed the order of pick starters, pick reserves first, so somebody wouldn't be picked last, but whoever's the last reserve pick would still be the last pick. Like, I didn't understand that.
It was a rough game, man. I try to remember what other All-Star games win. Like I saw a bunch of clips posted online. Someone posted like the 93 one. Guys were getting after it, man. I mean, yeah, they played weaker defense and they let you score, but it wasn't like an open layup line like Jaylen Brown said. It was I'll stay in front of you.
I think that's what
I'm not going to foul you.
I think guys were. It was a. And I know a lot of you guys don't really know because you didn't necessarily, you didn't play in the league. So how a lot of pros play during the summer is they compete and they play hard, but they're not trying to get injured and they're not trying to injure anyone.
Yes.
So that's why a lot of them, when they play, they only play with pros because they kind of all have the same agenda.
Right.
I'm not going to give you anything easy, but I'm not going to be, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Doing anything that's going to risk either one of us. That's how it is in the offseason. If they could just
All-Star games like two steps below that.
If they could just do that, and I think in the past, especially when I was younger, and then when I came in the league, I think that's how it was. It was like that. That's how guys played. Then you get down to the fourth quarter, and their competitive juices come in. But I think now it's just guys are just dribbling down jacket shots, and they go in there and throw the ball off the rim and dunk, and then do a layup. Like it's just back and forth. Like it's no resistance at all. So I just think if they could kind of get back to a pickup at UCLA, how they play there. Or pick up in Vegas or how they play, wherever they play at. If it was like that, it would be a little more competitive. But I'm not sure they want to do that.
Like, what was the one, 01, 02, the one where Iverson, they came back?
That was 01. That was 01.
That was great.
But they were also getting blown out that game.
They were, and they were trying hard.
And they tried to come back. And then Kobe went off, and Kobe was on the other side. Like, Kobe made the big shot. Like, it was – and Steph made those two late threes. Like, it was a blowout. And then because everybody's talking about how big the West was to the East that year.
Yep.
And then when they started coming back, it helped because it was in the Eastern Conference location where the crowd kind of got behind the team.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you see a close game. So then it became an exciting game and the crowd was in it and cheering for the team to come back. And then when they made it comeback, so it made it such a interesting and good game. But before that, it was kind of like, let's get this over with.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the sense of guys didn't care. Like, we didn't have that. They just were just getting beat.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like they were just giving up layups. The other team was just out, scoring more.
Yeah. 100%.
But I don't know if guys are interested in that as far as, how they play during the offseason. I just don't know if they're interested in that.
They used to turn it. I remember they used to turn it on in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That's when, and it was notorious. It was like, okay, guys, because everyone was always like, oh man, I want to see Kobe on LeBron. I want to see LeBron on Kobe. They wouldn't really do that till like the fourth quarter happened. And then it was like, okay, so just make it one quarter. Make it one quarter of competitive play, and then that's it.
You saw a little bit of that with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum towards the end of that game.
That brings me to one of the ideas I had for the All-Star game, right? Because that was big because it was one-on-one. And the storyline of those guys. And I think some of the ideas I had were do King of the Court tournament, like a double elimination King of the Court tournament. You get 3 or 5 dribbles, whichever one you want to do. I think that would make it competitive because guys tend to go at each other when they're one-on-one.
They're not interested in doing that.
Yeah, of course. Why? Yeah, they're not just.
That's what I'm saying. If they're not interested in playing the game, they're not interested in doing any of that.
Those guys were interested in going one-on-one with each other, though. Tatum and Brown, that's the most they tried all game, those two guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, to do that and then to involve everyone.
Because you see guys go pretty hard at that. I watched a clip recently. It was it might have been like the USA workouts. It was Durant taking everyone to school, but they were playing like hard at it. Like they were. I mean, you had undersized dudes on Durant, but they weren't just giving it up. They were like playing hard one-on-one it's like 7 seconds long. So it's like you lose and that's it. Like you're done. You have 2 hard 7-second turns to play, and then you're done for the day.
I'm just saying, like, that's a great idea. I'm saying they're not going to All-Star Weekend to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's
the other one would be a 3-on-3 tournament. You have an East bracket and a West bracket.
And you still got to compete.
Yes. I'm trying to cheat to the system to make it like a shorter. I think part of it's so long. These guys are like, I'm not going to try hard for a whole game. And that there's a reason why they used to try hard in the fourth quarter. So if you just shorten it or try to figure out a game that shortens it.
Just make it two halves of 10 minutes each.
So they'll play harder for shorter and then be done with it after that because they don't want to run.
You can make 2 halves running clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's no guarantee there. But at least they're trying stuff. The other thing you could do, keep it as is. No, they're not going to try, but throw in possible rule changes you've been considering. Try that, like that half court 5-point.
Yeah, they can do 4 and 5 point shots.
Yeah, try that stuff. You might as well make it interesting. Like,
and then there'll be 4 and 5 point shots with no defense.
Yeah.
Yes, but you know what though? I mean, if you can't save the competitive aspect of it, at least make it a circuit. Make it a full-on circus because right now it is a circus, but you're trying to make it look like a basketball game.
They're shooting those half-court shots anyways, though. So now you're getting 5 points for making those shots. Lillard was knocking down those half-court shots.
Yeah, but again, it's to see something new like that, a 5-point spot. It would make it somewhat like interesting at least because now it's just you're trying at least something.
Mm-hmm.
Or have the rim go up and down or something. I don't know. We're talking about anything to make this like more interesting because if you can't up the competitive nature of the game, then change everything else. Then mess with the court and the rims then.
Just announce the All-Stars and give them the time off.
Or that too.
Announce who the All-Stars are. Have something special or something like that, and guys can mix with fans and do whatever they have to do. And having the game doesn't change who makes the team.
No.
Yeah. And it's Sunday, make like a Legends game instead of the guys who are currently playing. That can be something too. Make it a Legends East-West game.
That would be cool.
Just give them the weekend off, man. That's what they want. They want the weekend off. They want to be an All-Star and go take a break and come back in the season. I'd rather them give them no All-Star weekend and knock out some of those low management games.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
a good compromise, yeah.
See, I don't think that would fix that either, though, because they
No, I'm just saying. If you ask me what I would rather that
and still do the 3-point contest and all that stuff
don't
too.
do anything.
That's it. Nothing. Just nothing. Make it a real break, all-star break, not all-star weekend, all-star break, a real break.
Guys are making a lot of money right now. A lot of money. And this extra stuff to get something. It's like I said, a lot of them aren't growing up and like that's important to them. A dunk contest, those contests aren't important. Playing the game and getting better, winning championships, that's a little more important. But the All-Star Weekend isn't important. Being an All-Star is important, but not All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
It's almost like being an All-Star, this comes with it. That's the feeling.
Yeah.
Since I'm an All-Star, I got to do this. I don't really want to. So I go out and just go through the motions in the game, and I'm not doing any other special events. I don't want to do that. And you can't blame them. Like it's not important. So they shouldn't necessarily get criticized because it's not important. It's just like it's not important. So the league just make an adjustment.
Do you think if they went to East versus West and did the baseball home field advantage for whoever wins, do you think that would make it more competitive?
It would make it more competitive, but guys would be complaining. You have a team that's an eight game lead and you don't have home court because the All-Star team lost?
You would have those good teams like Jaylen Brown and Tatum yelling at their teammates going, get your ass up and play.
Yeah, you would get a more competitive game, but guys it would be an issue down the road. Like, I play 82 games season and I lose home to get home court. And I got a good cushion and I lose it because guys that played in the All-Star game, that some of them, maybe only one of them is on my team.
Do baseball players complain about that? Did they ever complain to that switch?
I don't know. Most of them probably don't make it to the World Series.
Yeah.
Because they don't have as many playoff teams. Like, I don't know.
It's true.
Yeah. I don't hear much about. Yeah, MLB doesn't really get much airtime anyway, so I don't think it'd be news.
I will say though, yeah, that's true. The good teams though have most of the representatives. You have 4 players from Milwaukee and Boston, so you have a vested interest in doing it. And
you have one from Denver.
They only have one from Denver. That's
so
true.
Denver ended up having the best record in the league, and they got a built-in, thin air to help. And you telling them they can have 4 home games and they had the best record and they lost that because a team lost the All-Star game? Man, you think Mike Malone complaining about the All-Star game?
Yeah, he wouldn't.
I know Mike personally. Mike coached me in Cleveland. Mike would be killing that rule.
He hated that game, and it's so funny because he yanked his player off that game just because it was just like, man, I don't even want you in this anymore. Just get out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure the host cities would have a problem if they got rid of these All-Star games. I read that Cleveland, I think in direct spending last year, the city made around $142 million during the All-Star weekend last year. So cities would definitely be upset by this. The host cities, at least.
Oh no! Host cities, it's worth your while to do it. I mean, you got all those people coming in. Like, it's people that'll, like my son. I'm talking about my younger boy. My younger boys, just Steph Curry does no wrong, and the other son, LeBron, does no wrong. So if it was up to them, they would ask me to take them anywhere those guys go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I get it. Like, people are going to go and watch and see them and be a part of all of that. I'm just saying from a player perspective, like, it's evident to me they want to be all-stars but not play, not be around for the weekend. I think they would be ecstatic if they were just all-stars and they can go take a break and I'll see you when the season starts back up.
Yeah. Well, the decision makers in the NBA got their hands full with this one.